G'day guys, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Internet Kill the Rockstar by Mod Sun, which is a really cool track. For the basics of this song, you'll just need your guitar in standard tuning and you won't need a capo. Now, if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitar0tohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to improve on your guitar in general, then sign up to GZ2H Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. Let's jump into the lesson. Okay, so let's start with the intro. Now we're going to play an E flat octave shape here. So you're going to need your index finger on the 6th fret of the 5th string and your pinky finger on the 8th fret of the 3rd string. Now in order to strum an octave shape, you're going to need to mute all the other strings. So you're going to have your index and pinky finger pushed down, but with your index finger only pushing down on the tip, the rest of it should be lightly resting across all of the other strings. And then that way, when you strum those strings, only the 5th and 3rd ring out. And in order to mute the top 6th string, you can take your free middle finger and lightly touch that 6th string. So now when we strike all the strings, only that octave rings out. So that's very important for the verse in this song. Now the strumming pattern is going to go something like this. Down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And in succession. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. For the intro, we're just going to play that strumming pattern twice, and the intro just sounds like this. And then that leads us into our verse. Now the verse continues on with this octave shape for one strumming pattern. And then we're going to shift our index finger for our next shape down to the 5th fret of the 5th string, whilst maintaining your pinky finger there on the 8th. And we do need to continue muting all the strings. So having your index finger only press down on the tip and lightly resting on the rest of the strings is the way to do that. And again, you take your middle finger, touch the 6th string there in order to mute that top one. So that's our second shape. Then our third shape is exactly the same, except we take our ring finger and we're putting that on the 8th fret of the 6th string. Now with this shape, you can mute all the other strings by just lightly resting your index finger behind those fretted notes, but not pushing down your index finger, just touching the strings. So that's our third shape. And then our fourth shape is a bit of a stretchy one. It's our index finger reaching down to the 4th fret of the 6th string. And again, in order to mute all the strings, only push down on that tip of your index finger and your index finger will touch across all the other strings. So that's our fourth shape. So we're going to play that strumming pattern for all the shapes and the verse sounds like this. And at a faster speed. Practice it slow first though, and then work your way up. Next we get to the pre-chorus, and this is just comprised of power chord shapes, which is great. So our first power chord is up the 8th and 10th frets like this. So index on the 8th fret, ring and pinky on the 10th frets of the 5th and 4th strings. Again, you only want to push down on the low 3 strings, and the high 3 strings are just muted by, again, your index finger lightly touching across them. So that's our first power chord, the C5 power chord. And then we go down to the B flat power chord. And then we go down to the G sharp power chord. Now the first two power chords are contained within that strumming pattern, and the point at which we'll change chords is on the highlighted strum down here. So the first two chords, and then when we get to our final chord, we're playing that for the full strumming pattern. So that's the first two bars, which sounds like this. For our next two bars, we'll do the exact same thing, but when we get down to this G sharp, we're actually going to play a G sharp minor. So here we'll need to bar our index finger across the whole 4th fret, and we'll strum all the strings, and that's our G sharp minor chord. So the pre-chorus in total. Next, we move on to the chorus, which is really nice and easy. There's just 4 power chords here. We start with our E flat power chord. So that's similar to our E flat octave shape, except now we're adding our ring finger onto the 8th fret of the 4th string. We're going to be muting all the other strings as you strum that power chord though. So that's our first chord. Our second chord is the same power chord, just up 1 string, so our B flat. Our third chord is our C chord, and then our 4th chord is just this G sharp. Now for each chord we're going to be playing a 16 down strum strumming pattern, followed by a quick up strum at the end. Now the duration of this strumming pattern is 2 bars, so you can count it like that as well. So you can count it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Remember to have that quick up strum at the end. And another thing you can do is accent the strums on the 2 and the 4 beat to give that more of a driving feel. So when you accent, you play it a little bit harder. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... You're going to play that once for each chord, and the chorus just sounds like this. Again, you should practice all of these strumming patterns slow and then work your way up to full speed once you're comfortable with them at a slower pace. That's the chorus. The final thing to learn is the outro, and it's exactly the same as the chorus, except our strumming pattern is slightly altered. It's the exact same strumming pattern, but where we're going to accent is changing. Now, because the song moves into a halftime feel, we're no longer accenting on the 2 and the 4 beats, we'll be accenting on the 3 beat just by itself. But the strumming pattern itself stays exactly the same. And the chords as well. So the outro sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and... Now the final thing I'm going to teach you is the lead riff that's played in the chorus and also the outro. And it's really simple, there's just 2 bars here. So we're going to start with our index finger barring across the 8th fret of the 3rd and 2nd strings. Now for the first bar, we're just going to be alternating between the 2nd string and the 3rd string with an up, down motion. And we're going to just be playing on 8th notes. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... For the second bar, we'll alternate between these 2 notes one more time. And then you'll take your middle finger, put it on the 9th fret of the 2nd string, alternate between these 2 notes. And then take your pinky finger, 11th fret of the 2nd string, alternate between these 2 notes, and move back down. So we're just moving up and back down on the 2nd string. So the 2nd bar. And the riff in total. And the best way to pluck that is by continuously plucking up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And in total. And you just keep repeating that for the chorus and also the outro. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song, and I'll have my good friend Tugal lending his awesome vocals to this playthrough. If you want to check out his cover of this song, then I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
Rockstar.
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here, or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitar0tohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.